the areas that we program, where part of the area is determined based on your student enrollment, and that would be that top line, your student dining or your cafeteria space. The cafeteria space that has been allocated for the building is 10,483 square feet. When we get into schematic design, how that 10,483 square feet will be configured will be determined. Would it be one huge space, you know, segmented somehow? So those things occur during design. But there will be that much square footage for student dining area. These next several items here, we're going to talk about a little bit more when we get to your auditorium. The stage, the scene shop, makeup, theatrical control, and drama storage are all going to be associated with your auditorium project, which means that this portion of your auditorium project is a co-funded item. Normally, they would fund these areas for a cafetorium type setup, and we are able to take those and locate them with your auditorium. Staff dining, you'll have one staff dining area designated here of 1,000 square feet, and an area where tables can be stored from the cafeteria of 400 square feet.
Just if I might, does anyone ever think outside the box with student dining and split it up instead of one large dining area, that you've got students running from all borders of a large building like this to possible other options of smaller dining areas more conveniently located? Or is there a rationale to have them all in one place? Go ahead.
We have been looking at ways of making it less like a dining hall and more personalized, smaller areas. You know, with the thought being, you know, that it needs to be within some proximity of the kitchen facilities, but we do want to look at ways of making a large area small, and that brings about, I think, a more pleasant atmosphere for everyone that's in there, but we also have to juxtapose that with supervision issues, and so there's a variety of things to take into consideration, and certainly at this point in time we've had discussions around all of those options, and I think would be leaning towards smaller spaces so that it's less like a large institutional cafeteria and more of a pleasant atmosphere for everybody.
The next area that we're looking at is your food service. When we program, we can program either a warming kitchen or a full kitchen. For this project, we're programming a full kitchen. The total area of that kitchen is 7,146 square feet. You can see that that's broken up into several areas. Your preparation areas, your serving, your storage, coolers and freezers, and your warewashing. When I mentioned that negative 367 square feet on the front page, what we've looked at and in discussions with the district is trying to make sure that this area is going to be responsive into the future and able to serve the building and the district well. So within the square footage that we had allocated, we increased some spaces through meetings with the Rich and with your food service people from Cisco? Sodexo. Cisco's a supplier, I know. My bad, don't tell Bill I said that. We looked at these and looked at how much additional square footage would really give you a comfortable working setup. What that did was to leave us with about 251 square feet of additional space that would be locally funded. When you add that in here, it increases some of your building services and your construction factor that goes along with it. So that's where that negative 367 square feet comes from. It's a little bit of local funding that would be needed to make this an area that would be responsive well into the future for your needs. You have an area for a dietitian's office, restrooms and locker rooms for your staff, and the one area that we added that is not on your standard POR for the food service is kitchen receiving because of the volume of deliveries that you do get into that area. So there is a 400 square foot kitchen receiving area. Any questions? In terms of custodial space for the building, we have a 300 square foot custodial workroom in the new construction, 533 square feet in the Washington building that is currently utilized as custodial workroom and storage space. And then in the new construction area would be a 200 square foot main office for your custodial staff.